Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the wandering journey of Maluanu, the Ambu who we have climbed atop the back of, seeking shelter from the toxic world all around us and seeking hope across the horizon for the future of our very small village and our peoples, led previously at least by a couple of very weary elders. We have only just managed to go ahead and get onto the back of our wonderful new companion, and we have only just managed to start figuring out what... Ooh, are these water pockets? Oh, wow! So we can actually harvest this water now. That's really good to know, especially because we are going to need to start storing the water in different locations. And after all, right now, we're actually in a place that... Oh, darn, we're leaving the rain. We were in a place of wonderful abundance of waterways, and now that we are leaving the rain that I really wish we would have been able to take more advantage of, I believe that the researchers here in our little village, we have researcher Bergie the Writer, researcher Adelaide Faye, and researcher Misfortune Teller, given the task of trying to come up with ways that we might be able to really lead our people into a safer future. They probably were visiting with one of the two elders who advise us, perhaps the crankier old man, saying, "We should have made use of the resources we had, like figuring out a way to store that water. Back in my day, we used to have to cross 3 deserts just to be able to brush our teeth in the morning." Of course, his stories are probably a lot sadder than that, but I'm hoping that we might actually be able to do a bit of research on these water tanks. We need water in order to do that, and until I saw the puddles, I thought we would need to wait until we completed construction on the air wells. However, if we hurry and we make collecting water from the puddle a priority... Are there any more puddles? There are puddles over here too. So let's actually go ahead and make that a huge priority. We still need to have our wood, but let's pull down the number of staff. Oh, and there's 2 more. Oh my gosh, and we have 2 new nomads. I wish we knew where they were coming from, because I really feel like pulling people up like on top of the Ambu and welcoming them is a wonderful thing, but also something that deserves a little bit more attention. Like, you think there'd be a bit more fanfare for welcoming some of the people who have just managed to, like, arrive. Okay, and the air well is now made. It's gonna start going ahead and collecting water if we had someone gathering from it. But since we have these puddles, let's see if we can get people collecting from the puddles faster. And I bet if we put down... Oh, and what's this? Okay, yeah, Airwell needs people. So does our research building. That's fine, that's fine. I know there's no workers assigned. If I disable these, will that stop panicking? Yes, but I don't think we should disable the ability to do our research. However, until we have more water, we can't do our research. How is our storage? It can store 75 of all of the different materials, so we should have plenty of room for those little buckets of water to be stored. And once we get the water, is it over here anywhere? Or do we need to put it somewhere else? Is the water here? Everything is currently enabled, so all of the stuff the Ambu has evacuated its bowels. Thank you for that. That's probably really important to know. And let's actually go ahead and have a worker come over. Hey, it's one of the new nomads! Wonderful! So we can actually have this person perhaps be a hydrologist, because this is going to be a very important position, actually. Or how about dewdrop collector? That is quite the fancy name. Oh my gosh, Lord Thunder, you were next on the list. That's amazing. So you're going to be our dewdrop collector. Very fitting for your name, since you also have to, you know, with rain and thunder. And it looks like we just left the water buckets on the ground, but I'm hoping we We do have enough water now to go ahead and focus on the water tank research. Wonderful. So let's put researchers into the building again. I think, okay, it hires different people each time. But you know what? I really like that because maybe it means that people with different expertise will be showing up to try to contribute what they can to like improving the entire village and taking care of everything. So we don't know how to do our farming just yet, but we did research it. We need to gather some clay. So harvest and remove. I wonder what that has to do. Like, what can you harvest from the clay? We'll contemplate that a little bit. But for now, I guess, will the deposits come back if we just gather the clay from there? And I know we were trying to come up with a way to have a clay gathering camp right over here. And we need a lot of clay, it seems, for different things. So let's put the clay gathering camp. Can I get all of them? Oh, this big rock is in my way again. Okay, I don't think there's going to be a way we can sneak all of the clay that I wanted. This would be a range of 3. This is a range of 6. If we have to sacrifice 1 patch of clay, this would be 5. This would be 5 as well. Okay, let's go ahead and we're going to have to remove this patch of clay if we want to be able to put the clay harvesters in. So sometimes it just has to be done. I guess we can move the clay harvesters actually. So maybe we don't need to harvest this now that I think about it. Like to completely remove it. Let's cancel that. Because if we can move the clay camp like we can move the rock camp, then maybe just having a range of 4 is good enough for now. And let's put that to a medium priority so that some of our people know we need to get to it. And we also are going to need to figure out how to get more tools found by scavengers or brought by traders. All right, that's going to be important too. And of course we have the mysterious structure, but as we're tending to everything, it looks like we now have enough tents, and we even built some extra tents for everyone. And let's help people out by putting down maybe a little bit of dirt. And like for the dirt roads, that is. There's plenty of dirt here on its own. And I'm hoping this will start helping the villagers be able to move a little closer together. All right, and we'll get a clay gatherer, and it's Nomad Larkspring. Larkspring, you now have a new title. You're going to become a potter at the moment, which I think is quite useful. And I think we have just finished researching how to store, let's check, the water tank. There we go. So we don't have enough water for the or enough wood for the water tank because we've been so busy building everything else at the moment. But if we have the air well right here, we could build the water tank. I think the water tank should definitely go right next to the air well, and maybe right next to the berry bushes. Because once we figure out how to start farming, that'll be useful. Wow, people are really getting like the paths down quickly. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed with that. And now that we've figured out the water tank, we can work on a flop house. Oh my gosh, a flop house. Makeshift housing for up to 30 villagers. Inhabitants are more susceptible to poison due to the cramped conditions. Okay, that's not very good. And there's also pantry to store food. But look at how important this one is. The hornblower, used to issue commands to the Ambu, which it may or may not follow. And those commands are very important if we wish to be able to guide it away from what our scouts can see in the distance, our dangerous places, and perhaps guide it towards settlements or places where there are clearly other nomads in need, or there might be dangers for the Ambu that it cannot sense. I don't think it can see very far, being, normally buried under the ground is a mountain, and communicating with it seems like it is an absolutely essential next step, especially if we are also going to learn how to harvest mushrooms to go ahead and provide food toward it. The rock trumpet, it needs salt to grow. It turns rock solid when grown and can be harvested for stone. Oh, so we could start like growing all sorts of different mushrooms. The heal shroom for medicine, and we can learn how to grow spores into poisonous fungi. Possibly dangerous, but I wonder if it could help us learn more about like how to take care of everything. We also could come on over and we can work with the ombu by teaching it how to go ahead and eat. We can throw some of the big giant I believe we would need the ombu food there. Yeah, we would need the mushrooms for ombu food. We can tell it to rest when we can tell that it definitely might need to sleep to store up its energy before running for it from potential dangers. And it looks like we can also learn a landscaping for basic decorations to increase the attractiveness of our homes. That's lovely, but not exactly applicable at the moment. We also need to get a feeding trebuchet and an ombu kitchen before we could throw the food into the ombu's food. The ombu catch stores food and medicine for the ombu, an ombu doctor, the ombuologist, which I absolutely love that. Oh, and the dung that we can collect for biogas and fertilizer. Ooh, that would be really good. And then there's also ombu laxatives if it needed help. It looks like there's going to be enlightenment to figure out if the ombu is a divine being or not. It requires ombu notes to start and resets the cult level. Cults? What? Nutritious mushrooms for the ombu. Okay, this is like all of the villagers just sitting around and like almost pushing each other, I think, at this stage, like trying to argue about like, oh, I have this idea. No, I have this idea. So I think the most important thing we could do first is probably work maybe on storing food. And if once we figure out the pantry, then we can start working on how to grow corn, heat resistant little water, or tomatoes, which are heat resistant and have high yields, but they require a lot of water. Cacti. Okay, now I'm feeling more nervous about the water, seeing everybody like kind of shoving each other as we sit down to eat our berries. And now they're all like, oh, but we should really pay attention to things that like, don't need a lot of water because otherwise we're going to starve. I think we can make our own kitchen at some point too. I think someone's going to start arguing about that. Yeah, here it is. And be like, I don't want to eat berries forever. So we could tell the ombu to eat and sleep. And I guess we would be able to guide the direction the ombu goes in, I think, with the horn blower. We would have to build up its confidence in us too. The carpenter can make planks from wood. And, I think we should probably work on some farming at a near soon. But getting the hornblower researched is essential for the sake of hopefully having at least some sense of what direction we want to take in going to the next horizon. Also, getting this water tank built, very important. And I believe if we're out of berries, or let's see, we're gathering berries. We need a place to store the berries with the pantry. That's going to be a good thing. We're going to need a lot more wood, so possibly another wood cutting camp would be helpful. But right now we kind of have the villagers who are nearby helping with the wood. See, this is probably why it's very helpful to have just one leader taking care of things. Are we researching the pantry? There we go. Just one leader taking care of things, because otherwise everybody could start like kind of pushing at one another and having like suggestions of what they think could be done. And I believe we're done gathering this clay for now, because we've already, yeah, we'll stop gathering these because we've already got a clay like area we can work on. And my farm needs, okay, the farm needs a little more clay. But once we get that down, I think having the farm kind of near, definitely near the water areas, and perhaps near the Ambu's rump for potential collection, for potential collection of like a lot more dung and things would be good. And also, I think we have some new nomads who showed up just in time to like walk into a conversation. They're probably relieved, stretching out sore legs, being given some food that finally has been washed free of the toxins and the spores. Like imagine eating berries for the first time that don't look like they're covered in mold. Ugh. But we have Amy Wolfsong. So this is going to be Nomad Amy for now. And welcome to what will hopefully be a successful village. We are definitely outpacing our needs. So I think getting the farm built is going to be super important. Having more people gathering clay, super important. Do we have enough houses? The Ambu is getting a little hungry, a little tired. And I'm getting increasingly nervous because the villager happiness, the food variety, food, housing. Do we have everybody housed? Their hope increases. So we have some tents as well. Do we? I hope we have enough houses. The Ambu seems uncertain about what path to take at the upcoming crossroads. There's a mine that we actually can't go out to yet because we don't have the ability to scout yet. Oh, we didn't manage to go to the abandoned encampment because we didn't have any scouts available. Ah, well, at least we're welcoming some new people into the village, even if we are exceeding what the village can currently provide. And then maybe we'll go ahead, have a couple workers work on more clay deposits and gathering. I wonder if it'd be helpful to have a path down to the farm now so that people could move a little faster. Oh, and the pantry has been researched. Wonderful. So now that that's done, well, everyone I think would be noticing that the Ambu isn't certain about where to go, but also requires little water, heat resistant. Tomatoes are heat resistant, high yields, but need lots of water. We need a lot more clay before we can do research on some of the seeds that the new villagers are talking about. So let's work on the hornblower for now. And we need more wood before we can do that. So let's take some of these guys off of being researchers so that they can focus on helping us to gather from some trees, maybe move some of the stones that are being collected. We're almost there on having enough clay to be able to work on the farm. And speaking of the farm, let's have a dirt path come along and help our villagers get between the houses and the farm outpost a little faster, as well as the research area. Yes, I like that. And then maybe even the clay area, like the clay harvesting spot, because I have a feeling that the clay harvesting is going to be pretty important for the sake of the farm and all the farming that needs done. So we'll put those down, and all of the dirt roads should be like somewhat lower priority. In fact, I wonder if I can possibly put, well, you know what? People are getting it done, so I'm not going to risk messing that up right now. And then material storage, the pantry, here we go, stores the food. I feel like the pantry should definitely be near the farms as well. So should it be, how close? All right. Yes, okay, so now we can plant and harvest beets. You know what? I'll take it. And let's actually get maybe 2 workers on the beets for now. Because that's the only thing we've currently got. They don't have any compost, but they do have a lot of wood that they're pulling, or water, excuse me, that they're pulling in. And that makes me think that having pantries here would be a good idea after all. And maybe moving some of these rocks out of the way to possibly have more places to store water. I hope I can move those. All right, and then maybe we'll get rid of all of those pieces. See, keeping everybody fed, including hopefully the Ambu, is actually really important, and we're very close to not having enough to meet our villager needs. So that makes me a little nervous, to say the least. We're researching the hornblower, but I don't think we'll be able to build it until we have like wooden planks and stone slabs. But how is Mau Anu doing? Mau Anu seems to be doing okay. I wish we could really talk. Oh, what is that? What? Can be cooked or planted by pest control to grow an ellie flea? What's an ellie flea? And there's salt that we could be using in our foods. And I'm really nervous about whatever is coming up over here. There's a lot of mines, and there's a lot of a mysterious looking much more toxic landscape that makes me think we probably should have more water stored. There's also salt water and tainted water, oof, that we could be growing. Okay, now we have a pantry. That's wonderful. Again, kind of feeling a little nervous about the water situation, but hopefully we'll get that settled too. Maybe I'll put another water tank right here. I don't know about how easy it would be to move the water tanks in the future, but making sure the pantry has room seems important too. Okay, what about over... Can I put 2 here? The water tanks are kind of big, aren't they? Alright, I'll put another one right here for now. Alright, and hopefully the water tanks will be useful as well. So what do you all need in order to get to work? Do you not have any like, seeds you can plant then? Do you need to have compost? Or... Oh, plots! They need plots! Oh my gosh! That is what the problem was. They didn't know where to start putting down the beets fields. Oh my gosh. Well, here you go, friends. Please get to work. I would feel a lot more comfortable if we had more beets down. Okay. I think with the village elders probably looking on in more than mild concern, possibly despair, though despair may be a strong word. I think we're maybe starting to get somewhere. Also, I think the clay gathering camp has just more or less finished up everything it can gather from here. That's not good because we need clay, but I think the clay restores itself once it gets to 100% growth. Interesting. So the clay will come back eventually. And it doesn't look like if I disable the gathering camp, I wonder if I can move it then. Because there's other clay deposits on the Ambu's back. Oh, and look at all these mushrooms. I wonder if we can store the mushrooms securely somewhere so they don't rot. I don't see mushroom storage just in the pile of material storage, though having a bunch of herbs would be nice. And then can I store mushrooms in here in our food? We can make mushroom stew, apparently. That would be really nice. I don't see a spot for just mushroom scavenging rations, fish, bread, grilled fish. Oh my gosh, and 2 new people. Welcome. I really hope we have enough room for you as well. Let's see. I guess that means we'll have another farmer, hopefully helping us out. I'm beginning to think we definitely need... The air well seems to be working okay now, but you probably want more air wells sooner rather than later when it is indeed a time of desperate crisis. And we're really hitting the maximum on our needs. That makes me so nervous because we do want to really make sure that everybody is well tended to. Let's see. And then maybe another air well over here is a decent idea, just to really keep it filling up. Though I feel like this air well is doing a pretty decent job. So maybe another air well would be useful, like over where we might have another farm. We're in the mountains. That's probably going to get cold, isn't it? I wonder if the beets will grow okay there. How is the... Oh boy. Ooh, good. There's food for the ombu coming up. Thank goodness. And I mean, if we're in the mountains, I wonder what that might give us a chance to kind of like catch our breath and take care of. Will the beets grow okay there? Yes, they're actually probably the only thing we could grow right now that would do decently in the cold. So, to be honest, I'm super relieved that we have them right now. Oh, and let's actually get another wood cutting camp, I think, in here so that we can start collecting up wood on this side to turn around and maybe do some carpentry or something like just some more building so we can have more farms. Maybe we could even pull like this area into sort of a central zone for food, since it seems to be where a lot of us are hanging out. And yeah, a lot of us are hanging out over here right now. And I do want to have more pantries once we clear these out of the way. And more material storage in a few spots is probably a really good idea at this stage. And I do want to have more farms built. And I think the farm needs the clay as well. So we want to be a little cautious on how we use that. But another farm could fit in right over here. We'll add to it as we can. The clay gathering camp only has one person right now, but it's got at least a couple spots that it can gather from. I guess that means we can go ahead and gather from these clay deposits and just trust that then once they're restored, we'll be able to gather more, which is such a relief. And we need... Did we finish the hornblower? Oh, we didn't have enough resources. Oh, I need more wood in order to do that? Or did I just like stop hiring people? I think I just stopped letting people research the hornblower. Oh my gosh. Well, hopefully we will develop a deeper bond with the ombu. There's a shrine over there that has ancient notes. Oh my word. And hopefully the ombu who... Oh! She's Snoozy! Yes! So as she settles down for another rest here in a vast mountain range where it seems as though the toxins have made the very snow itself pink and blue, she's going to stretch those toe beans. Call out with the sound of a sleeping mountain. And while she rests, we'll try to very carefully and snores and very gently continue to expand and explore our small little population and hopefully start having a chance to talk about how wonderful our mythical ombu is and how, just maybe, we might be able to help her too. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.